Thank you once again for tuning in for Pet Week on Capitol Hill. I'm Clodovita, your Pet Week host. For those of you joining for the first time, Pet Week on Capitol Hill is a series of virtual programming about the importance of pet ownership in America. This week, we learned about new research and data, impactful programs, and pet-friendly policies that strengthen the human-animal bond and improve well-being for pets and the people that love and care for them. Pet Week is hosted by the Human Animal Bond Research Institute, HABRI, a nonprofit research and education organization that works to advance the vital role of the human-animal bond in the health and well-being of people, pets, cultures, and communities. I'd like to take a moment and thank all of our Pet Week on Capitol Hill sponsors who make this programming possible. Special thanks to this session sponsor, Purina. Nestle Purina Pet Care creates richer lives for pets and the people who love them. Founded in 1894, Purina has helped dogs and cats live healthier, longer lives by offering scientifically based nutritional innovations. Here is a message from our sponsor.
Some of the biggest challenges I face seems to most people is the simplest things in the world, but I'm constantly over my shoulder.
I have a lot of anxiety and stress over loss. You just worry, like I can't control if I lose another person or another family member.
I don't like interaction with people anymore. I don't feel connected to humans anymore.
Grateful for a second chance and excited to see what the future holds.
Knowing that she's watching out behind me, that's the last little piece that I need to remember that I'm actually in a safe place.
Archie has really made a big difference. He feels me, he calms me.
He gets me out of the house and has helped make my life worth living again.
It is possible to get your life back. It's possible to be closer to who you were before the trauma. She's living proof. It works.
Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our session speaker, Dr. Kerri Rodriguez, assistant professor at the College of Veterinary Medicine within the University of Arizona. As the director of the Human Animal Bond Lab, her research explores the role and impacts of the human-animal bond for both human and animal well-being across a variety of settings, populations, and contexts. Dr. Rodriguez received her PhD in human-animal interaction from the Purdue University College of Veterinary Medicine in 2020. She completed a postdoctoral research fellowship with the Human-Animal Bond in Colorado at Colorado State University and joined the University of Arizona in 2023. Dr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for being here to talk about the research supporting service dogs for veterans with PTSD.
Hello, thank you for having me.
This is a very exciting conversation, and I want to start at the beginning, your work, diving right into it, because I know we could go on and on for a very long time about populations and settings and contexts and everything that you're studying. But it is Service Dog Awareness Month, and I am hoping to focus more on your work exploring those impacts of service dogs and veterans with post-traumatic stress. So what was the impetus? What first led you to study this specific role of service dogs and veterans with PTSD?
Yeah, well, I love animals, requirement of the job. I always wanted to be a vet, but I'm also a big data science research nerd. So I got a PhD instead of a DVM, and here I ended up. So I really think it's a dream job. I get to put strong science behind veteran stories and really translate them into evidence-based practice. So I feel like I hit the jackpot. I love what I get to do.
I kind of agree with you. Being a fellow data kind of person and an animal lover, I'm like, this does sound like a dream role. So amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
When we think about service dogs in particular, they're gaining a lot of attention in supporting veterans' mental health. So, why do you think that is? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. The first is that our nation's veterans are struggling. About 17 veterans commit suicide per day, and that's likely an underestimate. So, service dogs have really emerged as this promising strategy that is really helping. And I think combined with our society continuing to see how valuable the human bond is and how amazing dogs are for our own mental health and well being, I think people can really relate and resonate to the power of a dog to helping something like PTSD and trauma.
Hmm. Absolutely. I don't know what I would do without mine. So, for something like that, it feels so vital.
Mhm.
Based on the work that you're doing, that some of the specifics, can you share some findings from your research related to service dogs and veterans with PTSD?
Yes, my favorite part. So I think some of the most significant findings, not only our research group, but plenty of other incredible research groups here in the United States, abroad in Canada as well, have found that after being placed with a service dog, veterans of PTSD exhibit clinically significant decreases in their symptomology. And that's after only 3 months, which is really incredible. And that's, of course, accompanied by significant decreases in things like depression, anxiety, but also increases in quality of life and life satisfaction, things that I think are really important to quantify and that we're excited to see the needle being moved with. And then, lastly, one of the coolest things that we've done is to quantify how service dogs are influencing the body and looking at veterans' biochemistry through their cortisol levels.
Wow.
And what we found is that these clinical benefits to depression, anxiety, and PTSD are mirroring these physical benefits. Where after only 3 months with a service dog, we find that veterans actually have healthier cortisol levels that are more similar to a veteran without PTSD, and really showing that these service dogs are having these multifaceted impacts on many areas of the veteran's life.
Wow. I love that. And I think it's so apparent how, we feel it, how our minds are connected to our bodies and our emotion. It's all connected. So to see it in data, to actually have research that now says, hey, this is actually happening and true. That feels amazing. That's got to feel good as you get all of this data.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's why we get to do what we do is putting data behind these stories, and it's really exciting that we can kind of validate what hundreds
Mhm.
and thousands of veterans have been saying, and so it's really powerful.
I feel the power just in this conversation. So, I mean, clearly there is so much promising evidence, the benefits in all ways that are helping um, service dogs help veterans, which is just so important. So, if we think about what this looks like in actual practice, in actual day to day, how they're helping the veterans, the families, what does that look like?
So, of course, the dog's companionship at home is huge, and the tasks that they're trained to provide as well. So, things like waking up from nightmares, helping to retrieve medication, helping with a veteran's anxiety. But equally huge that we found is the ability to take the dog into public, and which they have the right to do because this is a service dog, not an emotional support
Mhm.
or therapy dog. And that turns out to be really important. So, veterans can reintegrate into society. They can go to the grocery store. They can go to their son's soccer game. They can really integrate better with their families in a way that they might have not been able to do before the service dog. And we find that this really increases their independence and might be contributing to a lot of the benefits we see. So it's a combination really of those benefits to the veteran, but also those incredible flow on effects that we see to the family and the friends and the community as well.
Wow, that seems like such an amazing ripple effect that happens. It sort of starts with the veteran and their maybe whatever symptoms they're dealing with, and it just continues to ripple out into their life and makes it such an impactful thing. That's amazing. So we love stories, right? Without naming names, because I'm sure there's privacy and we honor all of that. But is there any kind of story from your research that illustrates all of this that you can share?
Yeah, I mean, we get to hear so many stories, and each one of them is so impactful. It's hard to just pick, but I think some of the most impactful to me are the ones that are saying, this service dog saved my life, or, I wouldn't be who I am today without this dog. I think sentences like that really demonstrate how powerful and transformative these relationships are, and really help highlight, yeah, how important this field is to study. That's a really powerful statement. And so it's our job to dig into that and put data behind it to really quantify how these dogs are making such this transformative life impact.
Yeah, that would be. I imagine you get a lot of heart wrenching stories frequently.
So many. And we also get a lot of pictures of dogs, which is the best. Veterans love to share with us and tell us all about their dogs. And so it's a really great area to study.
Dog pictures all day. This sounds fabulous.
Yeah.
And benefiting our veterans who need our support and our care. It feels like I feel honored for you. Am I allowed to feel that way?
Yeah.
Okay. So in all your research, we've talked about these benefits. What's upcoming? What are the next big questions, big things you're seeing that
Yeah.
you're hoping to answer through your
Yeah,
research?
so we have two new studies that we were super excited about. The first one is going to be a clinical trial that examines whether service dogs might be advantageous combined with gold standard PTSD treatment. So this is important because we know that there are many treatments out there for PTSD that are gold standard, that are they really work, but only when completed. And unfortunately, they have high dropout rates, and they're difficult to complete. Our hope is that having a service dog can help veterans engage in those treatment options better, so that they can gain those benefits. So that study is going to be launching, and we're really excited to see how service dogs can be combined with other evidence based treatments. The other study we're launching, which we're so excited about, is we've seen how the service dog is impacting cortisol and kind of the biochemistry, but now we want to see how service dogs impact veterans' brains. So we're going to be looking at brain scans through fMRI to see how veterans' brain structure and function might change after getting a service dog. So a couple really new future directions where we're really excited to keep looking at this.
Wow. Both of those sound pretty fantastic. And I'm already envisioning like the before and after brain pictures that you see of what that can look like. There's something about that like visualization that I think helps people understand. Do you see that
Yeah,
in your research?
absolutely. I mean, we spend a lot of time on kind of the self-reported outcomes. So we ask veterans, how do you feel? We do that before they get a dog, and then 3, 6, 9 months later, how do you feel? But that only, goes so far. That objective data where you can kind of see, that these clinical effects on things like cortisol in the brain are really hard to not find compelling. So I think both the subjective and the objective measurement is really important.
So, being here for Pet Week on Capitol Hill, we have policy, we have members of Congress all coming together. When it comes to your research, how do you see it informing policy or healthcare practices and all the things that members of Congress need to know?
I think the biggest take home message from members of Congress is that we are actively building an evidence base for supporting the efficacy of service dogs for military veterans of PTSD. And we hope that this data can be used effectively to support policy that's going to support better access and remove barriers for veterans that are wanting to partner with a service dog or have already partnered with a service dog. Bills such as the PAWS Act and the SAVES Act are really great examples of this. And we hope that our research continues to act as that bridge between veteran stories and evidence-based science so that we can continue to move this field forward and provide the data that policymakers and clinicians and lawmakers really need.
Amazing. And just to help everyone watching at home and tuning in, the SAVES Act is a Service Dogs Assisting Veterans Act, and you can find all about it online. And everything you're showing today just really highlights the need for that kind of policy to come into play so that we can really support our veterans that are out there and need the support. Absolutely. So, as we're wrapping up here, Dr. Rodriguez, what would you like to leave everyone with? What are the last things you would like to share with us today?
Yeah, I think pets are so important. So many of us are watching today because we have a love for our pets and we really value and appreciate human bond. And I think it's important to support this bond in its many different forms, including a veteran and their psychiatric service dog, a dog that's specifically trained for tasks that is helping a disability. And that's a really important relationship that we should continue to study and support. And I'm glad to shed some light on today.
You're here. Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez, for your time today and your dedication to this important field of scientific study. And thank you again to our session sponsor, Purina. Pet Week is made possible through the generosity of all of our sponsors who are dedicated to sharing information about the importance of pets and the human-animal bond for people and communities across America. Please join us for our final session later today by visiting petnight.com or Habry's Facebook page. And on behalf of Habry and all of our sponsors, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.